Audio in the Nolan Wells case has been cleaned up by the brilliant Jeanetta Brantley, and I want to know who Bart is.
And we heard what the audio said. Somebody said, "Dammit, Bart." Yeah, so dammit, Bart, what you want to do? Turn yourself in, or you want to ride till the wheels fall off? Either way it go, you getting locked up.
The Mississippi Department of Marine Resources officially released the original chaotic July 4th call made by teenagers to a private boat towing company. However, an audio engineer named Jeanetta Brantley used professional non-AI dialogue cleaning technique to isolate the background noise. In that cleaned up viral audio, listeners distinctly hear background voices saying phrases like, "Is he dead? Check his chest," and critically a voice yelling, "Damn it, Bart."
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
Now here's what makes this part of the audio special. Bart claimed he was not even in the state of Mississippi on the 4th of July. He allegedly told people he had been living in Wyoming for over a year. This is why people have started pointing fingers at him as the prime suspect.
You can hear a few things very clearly, whether you have the transcript or not. Some "oh my gods" and somebody yelling at Bart. Basically, "What did you do, Bart?" And Bart Edmiston is the person who they're yelling at. He is playing for the University of Wyoming currently, their football team, and he is from that same area as Nolan Wells. He was interviewed by the cops. He was part of that whole friend group, although there was some denial that he was even there to begin with, but it was proven that he was based on other accounts. This is continuing to get thicker and thicker, and we are getting closer to justice for Nolan Wells. People in that audio know what happened. Whether they're responsible or not, they are now part of a cover-up. If something happened to Nolan Wells and they were aware of it, that young man is dead, and these people know so much more than they are letting on. It is time for them to talk.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Ahmadai Shakur. So this whole situation with Nolan Wells' case is getting more and more out of hand every day. Let's get into it. So first, let's start with the fact that Warren sat there on that interview with Rage Tatum and said that he was the one that got in touch with the Coast Guard. Okay, but then they also said that Bart had been in Wyoming for the whole year and wasn't at Horn Island. Now we find out that he absolutely was there because we heard him in the audio in the background, and then he was talking really loud, and then someone said, "Damn it, Bart." So yeah, we know that Bart was on that boat. Okay, please pay attention. But not only that, Warren said in the interview with Tatum, he mentioned Bart was the one who pulled their boat. Now, I don't believe anybody pulled their boat because I don't believe the boat was ever in distress. That was just her alibi, like I told you all days ago. Okay, so please pay attention. And now that the Coast Guard report has come out, we see that Bart's name is on the Coast Guard report. So Warren, why did you lie? Okay, Bart Joseph Edmiston Jr., that's the name on the Coast Guard report. I find that all very interesting. But also, Rage Tatum is out here saying that Nolan was on illegal substances, that he was taking Coca-Cola, and that he also they're also saying that he was drinking heavily. And I want to know how they know that he was drinking so heavily when the toxicology report hasn't even come out. But the other thing I want to know is how in the world Rage Tatum is saying that someone told him, some credible source, according to him, said that they know for a fact that when the toxicology report comes out, it's going to 100% say that Nolan was doing illegal substances. Now, funny thing is, if the toxicology report hasn't come out, how could anybody know 100% what's going to be on it? Okay, please pay attention. I'm just wondering if somebody injected him with something, if someone put something in his drink. I don't know, because how could they be so certain? But I also know that Warren Hudson's father, Dr. Benjamin Hudson, deals in toxicology. Okay, he deals in toxicology. That's one of his subspecialties. Okay, please pay attention. And now they're out here trying to even debunk the audio, saying that what we think we heard in the background is not what we actually heard. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. The cover-up is deep. Now, I want to shout out Jeanetta Brantley, the audio engineer, who actually cleaned up that audio and then posted it. But Rage Tatum is going in on her, acting like she just made this all up and it's not even real. Okay, please pay attention. Quite frankly, I think that Bart was absolutely jealous of Nolan because he wanted to be viewed and seen as the hometown hero, just like his father was when his father played football previously. And then the fact that Nolan was supposed to start training for football, for D1 football on that Monday, I think that absolutely he felt like Nolan was going to start taking away some of his shine. Not to mention the rumors about Bart supposedly dating Katie McCormick, the same young lady that took a liking to Nolan on the 4th of July. Okay, please pay attention. Mind you, this is all speculation at this point. We don't know if any of these things are true. Well, we know that some of them are absolutely true because we all know what we heard and we all know what we saw in the Coast Guard report at the end of the day. The rest of it is simply speculation, but I think that it's all adding up and making a whole lot of sense, and we can definitely see the cover-up, and there's so many people involved in it, in my opinion. Okay, please pay attention. Now, I don't know how much money they gave Rage Batum Tatum to come down there to Mississippi to conduct this fraudulent interview, and I'm calling it fraudulent because a lot of lies were told and a lot of narratives were painted. At the end of the day, I think that someone is giving him some money to do this. Not to mention he's getting monetized for putting all this crap out there because the MAGA minions, they absolutely love it. Okay, this goes along with their narrative. They don't want justice. They just want to make sure that people who look like them don't get any consequences for possibly taking out people or a person who looks like me. Please pay attention. You know, this is all what I like to call the Judas effect. Okay, remember how Judas betrayed Jesus with a kiss on the cheek when the Roman soldiers came to arrest him? At the end of the day, that's exactly what this looks like to me. Okay, it looks like a bunch of frenemies, not real friends, but a bunch of frenemies were around Nolan. The only real friend of his was probably Javon. That's the one who went to the funeral, was a pallbearer at the funeral, the one who came out and said nice things about him on social media. But at the end of the day, all these other people, I think they were fakes and frauds. And I don't think that they were ever so close to Nolan as they want us to think. And the fact that Warren Hudson and both he and Trayston Shepard have said they were both best friends of Nolan's. And then this is what they do. They get on this interview with Rage Batum Tatum and basically call Christine Wansley a liar. Okay? When she said that she didn't know him. When she said she didn't know Trayston. And he's talking about, oh, I parked my car at her house plenty of times. Well, because you park your car at someone's house does not mean that you know them. Okay, please pay attention. I also find it interesting that in the interview, Warren said that he told Nolan's mom that they had the cell phone. Okay, I don't believe that at all because why would she have said that she needed to track the phone? See, what they're doing, people, please pay attention, is they're setting up reasonable doubt. Okay, that's exactly what they're doing. They're muddying the waters and they're trying to control the narrative. That's why they came out and got Officer Rage Batum Tatum to do those interviews. Okay, please pay attention. I also believe that Bart is absolutely the one that did something to Nolan. Okay, I absolutely believe it. I can't prove it, but I absolutely believe it because in my opinion, he had the motive, the means, and the opportunity. Please pay attention. And I absolutely don't believe that Nolan was doing any sort of illegal substances because at the end of the day, D1 football players, they get rug tested year round, not only from the NCAA, but also from their individual universities. Okay, so please pay attention. The lies are getting heavy.
Talking of Nolan Wells' friends, parents of Nolan Wells' friends and local leaders were all sent letters telling them to expect lawsuits in connection to the case.
Nolan Wells, as parents of Wells's friends and even local leaders were reportedly sent letters telling them to expect lawsuits in connection to the probe. That's according to our Mississippi NBC station. The letters were sent from a local firm working with Ben Crump, the Wells family attorney. Reports say the people who received those letters were told to preserve all evidence in their original form. It comes as the Mississippi Attorney General is warning those who are allegedly threatening law enforcement to stop. In a statement, she said anyone that attempts any efforts to intimidate, disrupt, or interfere with the case will be taken seriously, and that she's also proud of the professionalism of the DA, police, and leaders as it relates to this investigation.
Legally, the parents of Nolan Wells' friends are being threatened with lawsuits based on vicarious liability and negligence under several specific accusations. 1. Supplying alcohol to minors. The impending lawsuit alleges that adults and homeowners provided alcohol, hosted the pre-party, or funded the trip where minors, including Nolan and his friends, were heavily drinking. 2. Providing the boat. The parents own or provided the watercraft used in the trip. The lawsuit claims they are liable for negligence entrustment, allowing teenagers to operate a vessel in deep, dangerous open waters without proper safety standards, which ultimately left Nolan stranded. 3. Coordinating a cover-up. Nolan's parents and attorney Ben Crump alleged that once the teenagers returned to the land without Nolan, the friend's parents actively stepped in to lock down social media accounts, withhold Nolan's phones and keys from his family, and potentially advise the teenagers to delete digital footprint data. By sending these notices to the parents, the law firm is preparing to sue the entire household for civil negligence contributing to a wrongful death. That's all for today. Let me know your thoughts. Also, here's the new enhanced audio and new video footage that changes the entire situation.